right up next to us. But my name's Cody Bradison. I represent the Eastern region. I'm a territory manager for Wisconsin, Illinois, and Michigan, and a few other counties spread out between there. Behind me today, I'm going to introduce our 604 Gen 4 Pro. This is Vermeer's competitor in the chopper baler market. We've been in that chopper baler market since about 2014 with the Gen 1 Pro. Introduced the Gen 2 after that, and then brought that production to the United States in Pella for Gen 3 and now Gen 4. What really makes the chopper baler different from every other baler in our lineup, and what helps us in that market, truly is our rotor system, rotor and knife system. Why would you want a rotor or a knife cut system, a chopper? There's many different reasons to have a chopper in a baler. A lot of producers find having that bale sized accordingly helps with breakdown in TMR, helps with palatability in a bale ring, and a lot of other different features as well. It really helps get that bale as tight as you possibly can, especially in a silage bale. It's really key to helping reduce the amount of spoilage you can have. We offer this baler in a 604 Pro Gen 4 and a 504, so that's 6 foot tall, 4 foot wide, and 5 foot tall, 4 foot wide. I'm going to start at the front of the baler. We offer this baler in a 540 and 1000 RPM configuration. That 1000 RPM configuration is new for the last couple years, but I think it's something that them higher horsepower producers really enjoy. Moving back on that is a split gearbox. So that split gearbox is going to help run this size of a baler with a little bit more reasonable horsepower than some of our competitors. This baler is quite large, takes quite a bit of horsepower, right? This baler is meant for and built for that custom operator, high producer, high bale count machine, and it's meant to live up to that standard. So underneath that power or that split gearbox, you're going to notice is really the meat and potatoes of this machine. So that is our undershot rotor. That rotor feeds that crop across 17 knives. Our knives are on a dual bank. So what we can do with that dual bank is hydraulically from the cab, and Hank will talk about that a little later, but we can drop those knives hydraulically without getting out of the cab if we don't want to cut, or if we only want to cut with 8 knives, 9 knives, or 17 knives. And you can take knives out and put blanks in to get any kind of configuration you want. So you can really dive in and get the exact cut length you want. In front of that rotor is our camless pickup. That camless pickup is something we run along a couple other lines in our lineup with the 504R and the 604R as well. That camless pickup, customers really like the ease of maintenance, the quiet running to it, and just everything that's along with not having all those cams and bearings that maybe a cam pickup would have. Along with that camless pickup, we have our double rubber mounted tooth. Hank's going to pass around a tooth in case any of you guys want to feel it or haven't felt it yet, but it's a really stout tooth to help this baler with, dry hay, corn stalks, sorghum, whatever you're going to put through it. Guarding those teeth are a poly riser pickup band. So we went through a couple iterations of pickup bands. This poly riser pickup band I'm pretty excited about. The riser portion of that, which you can see where Hank's showing you right now, that riser portion helps us create a cammed action and help shed that crop off of those teeth. So really we get cammed pickup characteristics with the maintenance ability of a camless pickup. It's something we're pretty excited about. On the edge of that pickup, you're going to see a semi-pneumatic toolless gauge wheel. And also this pickup is protected by a radial pin clutch that is 22% higher torque than our G3 to just help with increased capacity on this machine. So I'm going to pass it along to Hank, and he's going to finish up with the baler.
All right, thank you, Cody. Hank Majeski, I'm territory manager out on the East Coast, Pennsylvania, down in North Carolina. I see a lot of my dealers here and some folks I've got to know at trainings. One thing I want to talk about is the duty cycle on this baler. Everything about it's going to be heavier. If we look inside, we see 60 chain on the pickup, 100 chain on the drive, 80 chain on the other side. Bearings, we've added a lot of heavier duty bearings to this baler. Everything about it's going to be heavier from the ground up. If you look down here, you will see our flexible drop floor. Anybody familiar with the flexible drop floor system that we have, or anybody our competitors have? I would hope so. So anyway, the flexible part, if we're going through a field and we've got varying conditions, things get thicker, things get thinner, you get a slug, that floor actually actively flexes to help you go through that crop. Now, when the situation does happen and we actually plug the baler, and you'll know it, you can unplug the baler from the seat of the tractor with the drop floor. All we have to do is turn off our PTO, toggle to the drop floor on our monitor, pull a lever, turn our PTO back on. That takes that plugged crop back up into the baler so the customer operator does not have to get off and unplug that baler. Anybody who's ever had to unplug a baler knows that's not fun. All of your functions, aside from the tailgate, are on one hydraulic valve connected to your tractor's monitor. So your pickup lift, your drop floor, and your knife bank are all on one valve. So you don't have to have a valve for every single one going to a tractor. You just push a button on the monitor and then work that lever to operate that function. So it's really simple. It's all on a solenoid. Come back here to the net wrap system. All of the chopper style balers on the market today, where do they have the net wrap? That's right, they're on the front. We have put it in the back. We feel it's safer back here. We feel it's better for the customer experience as far as loading and unloading net wrap, not having to go up a ladder. We've gone to a hydraulic brake system on the Pro balers, similar to what's on the 604R. And it's instead of having a mechanical brake system back here, it's hydraulic. We can control things like net density and whatnot from the cab. Pretty much all of your adjustments, aside from a few, are going to be on the cab monitor. Simple load, just like we're used to. Undo this, slide onto your donut here, tighten things down. We can actually get the net wrap load position, the home position here by pushing a button instead of having to run them back and forth to the cab. So that is some of the main stuff. A couple things on this baler we hadn't mentioned yet. Toolless adjustment on your pickup wheels. This particular unit is spec'd out with an optional auto oiler. The actual oiler is on the other side, but if you look around the baler, you'll see some brushes. That's all part of that chain auto oiler system. Going up to the front of the baler, you will see the dry hay diverter belts to help contain crop. On the back of the baler, we have updated the tailgate roller to a heavier roller to get a little more duty cycle out of that. We have added a poly net pan standard on this baler. If you're not familiar with the net pan, it's the metal piece that goes underneath the belts, back along the belts where the net runs. In this sticky, heavy, wet crop, not so much what we have in the field today, but really wet alfalfa and whatnot, when that builds up on that pan, that can cause net wrap issues. So that poly eliminates a lot of that problem. So, any questions? We are also running the Atlas Pro monitor that you are all used to. I don't have it plugged in, but color touchscreen. If you've sold 504Rs, you're familiar with a similar looking monitor. It just has a few more features as this baler does. So, any questions, Mr. Hinchy?
Can these poly bands be put on the 504 and 604 balers?
We have them standard now on the 504R Premium, correct? And if we need to, it's a different part number, I believe, but yes, there is a riser style baler band for that, for those balers.
We can put them back on the 504.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yep. Same style, just different part, I believe.
How about the T?
That's a, yeah, Gen 2 Pros, but not the 504R.
Is this shorter than the G3?
It is not. Nope. I didn't mention we have changed some things with the doors and whatnot. That's all part of that. Oh.
It is a bit shorter up in the front here. We cut down the frame just a little bit, especially the 504. We have sometimes guys with smaller tractors. Pretty intimidating on the G3 when you go up and look at a 504 baler that is that tall. So we cut that down a little bit just to make it a little less intimidating.
And some of you are familiar with the previous model. Remember the back doors, they are gone now. I think it looks pretty good. You had a question? They are not on here now. Those engineers over there might be able to tell you if it's on their roadmap. I don't know. It's a neat concept and it'd be neat to see on some other products. Absolutely. No, I'm sorry. The question was about temp sense on the Pro, and it is not here yet. Questions, comments? We ready to see this thing bale?
Yep.
All right.